What's up, everyone? My name is Zach Ralph. I'm going to be the host of PowerrrOut, our live reaction to all things NWA. We're planning on joining you. Got to conjugate the verbs properly. We're planning on joining you after every NWA podcast broadcast, and we're so thrilled to be joining you right after NWA back for the attack. Hell of a show. I hope you guys liked it as much as I did. Please, you're on YouTube, you're on Twitch, you're on Facebook. Please leave us comments so we know how you felt about the show. We're going to be engaging with you and whatnot. Wow. Really great show, like top to bottom, wonderful card of like old school bare bones wrestling. I loved watching it. I hope you did too. I'm going to be joined by a revolving door of guests on this show going forward. I will be the staple. I'll be here every week, every Tuesday or Sunday, if there is a pay-per-view, of course. But I will be joined by a revolving door of guests. And the first person to join me, it's only appropriate he does so. After all, he's one of my closest friends. He came up with the name of the show. He did that badass theme song that WrestlePlug was referring to before we went on air. And on top of that, it's also World Poetry Day, which is really good timing because this is the host of Love Wrestling's Poetry of a Promo. Mr. J joins me.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Happy to be here, sir. My pleasure, as always. I wouldn't use the term friend, but acquaintances at best. Let's see how that goes by the end of this show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Spencer just acknowledged in the comments that we're both rocking like the plaid. And I think we need to just get the elephant out of the room. We did not plan this.
Oh, I did. I texted you. You know it. We are. I am repping. I don't know if we can swear on this stream, but
oh yeah, I think we can.
I'm repping my Montreal favorite tag team in the freaking universe, Tabernacle team.
Oh yes,
that's why I'm wearing this today.
Well, funny enough, like I was wearing green earlier, but I was trying to get my green screen to work, and it wasn't working out for me. So I switched over to red, and here we are in a happy little bit of happenstance, both rocking some Tabernacle team. For what it's worth, WrestlePlug Inc. is asking like who wore it better, but he's also saying that we are both killing it. So
see this
high five, Mr. J.
I got the cleavage going on too. So like, you're welcome as usual,
Mr. J.
Yes.
Yeah, before you joined us, I gave like my very short bullet points before we go into further detail. What did you think of NWA back for the attack?
I enjoyed it. There were some questionable individuals on the show, but whatever. Apart from that, hell of a good show. Nice 2 hours. I was thoroughly entertained pretty much the whole time, but we'll get to why I wasn't entertained and who deserved better. If anybody follows me on Instagram. See, I'm new to this social media crap. I don't care if I use the wrong names. Deal with it. What do we talk about? Twitter, right? Yeah. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll know what I mean, but we'll also talk about that in a few minutes here, I think. But overall, I'd say like an 8 out of 10. It was a strong NWA show. I enjoyed it a lot. Well worth the money, and I didn't want to get up and go to the bathroom or get another beer at all during it. It was like, even during the 10-minute match, I was like, I don't know how this is going to end, and I love it.
Well, I'm very happy that in the layout of my own apartment, the fridge is a stone's throw away from the couch. So I was rocking several beers during this broadcast, and I hope to rock several more during PowerrrOut. This is the first episode of PowerrrOut, dude. This is amazing.
Yes, and the power is indeed out of the bag, because I don't know where I'm going with this, but whatever. The power is out. This is it. This is PowerrrOut. I invented the name. I came up with it because
this is true.
I love plays on words, and thumbs up if you like plays on words as well. But yeah, I love the name. I love this idea, and I love showing love to the NWA.
It was
because
a great
I love
name.
wrestling.
And there is the plug. There is the what's the word I'm
Contractually
looking for?
obligated plug, actually, is what it is. I have a list. Spencer, at me. I don't care.
All good, friend. I was hoping we could go kind of like segment by segment, talk a little bit about what we liked, what we didn't like. And the show kicked off very strong. You know, like I think this was already readily available on social media. They had the video package about why the main event was in place. The main event itself was a tribute to the late Joseph Hudson, who passed away very recently and very suddenly. And this match was a tribute to him. His former tag team partner, Aaron Stevens, would be challenging Nick Aldis for the NWA Heavyweight Championship. Very strong opening package.
Can we? I have an idea here, and I think we can. I think we can allow this. I'm willing to allow myself to do this. I would like to include a very special poetry of a promo edition in PowerrrOut, an exclusive, if you will.
Please, I'm gonna just mute myself and
dedicated.
The floor is yours.
To the one, the only, question mark. Karate. You're welcome.
Magnifique, sir. Magnifique.
No.
Thank you so much for that one.
My show doesn't get better than that. I'll be honest. Poetry of the PowerrrOut. Love it.
The package itself, what'd you think of, like, how did it set the tone for you?
I loved it because I love seeing Aaron Stevens be himself. And you could see that there was emotion. You could see that it was a real tribute show. And it wasn't just, oh, well, these are matches. No, it was, this is a tribute to our friend. This is a tribute to our fallen brother. And it showed love. I loved it. Like it was just, the ending. We'll get to the ending of the show, but the package and the ending of the show got to me because it's just like, wow, it's heavy, and art and heaviness go together so well. And that's what the package was to me. Simple, to the point. I thought so.
Absolutely. Beautiful moments bookending the show, top to bottom, and a few more beautiful moments that we're going to get to. Pardon me, that was very rude. From there, we get to
be expected from people wearing plaid, let's be honest.
We get to the musical package, of course, accompanied by Billy Corgan. And right after that, we jump into a Nick Aldis promo. I thought this was really interesting because before Power, NWA went on their unexpected hiatus, Nick Aldis was very much like a heel. He was running with the Strictly Business faction. So it was very interesting for him to come out and really set the tone in a very motivational, optimistic, moment. Like it was that kind of spirit is more so attributed to baby faces. But I thought Nick Aldis was the right person to do it because he is the champion. He is the locker room leader of the NWA. And I thought this was a really awesome, he knocked it out of the park. It was absolutely fire what Nick Aldis brought to the announce booth there.
Yes. Absolutely, 100% agree. Forgive me if I butcher this because I saw it 2 hours ago. But the thing about a setback is that it sets up a comeback. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Loved it. I was like, that's why Nick Aldis is the goddamn national treasure.
Absolutely. And
put
like
that
again,
on
like,
a t-shirt.
Yeah. I mean, like, not only that, he had a lot of like really good sound bites. Like the whole promo itself was just beautiful top to bottom, but like sound bites like so be it. He kept repeating that line. Like if the show is stolen from us in the main event, so be it. If Thunder Rosa and Camille steal it from us, so be it. And if Aaron Stevens digs down deep and beats me for Sweet Charlotte 10 pounds of gold, so be it. Man, I had goosebumps. I have goosebumps reiterating the promo.
It reminds me of somebody else who once held the 10 pounds of gold, except it wasn't so be it. It was, if it be that way, let it be. That's why I love NWA promos, because they're just so freaking authentic. And it's like, no, if this happens, it's fine. We'll deal with it from there. But I'm going to work my ass off to make it my way. That the honesty of the NWA is what I really love. I'll be honest.
Well said. The honesty.
To be upfront. Yeah.
The honesty. Friends, anyone in the comments, we're about to like kind of start running through the card match by match. If you have anything to say about these matches, please jump in the comments. We're going to be sharing your comments and engaging with you because Jordan and I, we probably have a lot to talk about, but a third voice in the room is always welcome. Yes, sir.
Who
Floor is
what
yours.
was that? What was that name that you just used, sir? This is we are live here.
I'm sorry, Mr. J. Jordan is like a completely different person. I didn't really mean to. I don't know. I just like confused the names for a second.
That guy sucks.
Oh,
double. We're in transitions here. It's fine.
Exactly. You'll be Mr. J like before. You know, like that like I'll think of you as Mr. J first in the coming weeks, certainly.
No, you won't. It's okay. Let's go ahead. Let's get on with the show, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. The card kicks off with Jordan Clearwater versus Jax Dane versus Crimson versus Slice Boogie. Fatal 4-way action. It's nice to see like 4 hosses go at it, you know, like I mean, like I know that Jordan Clearwater is probably smaller, but like by comparison, like he's still a pretty big guy. And it was really fun to see like these 4 just go at it. Yeah. Fatal 4-way hoss fights. I'm always in favor of them. How about you?
I was really happy with what I saw. And it was just like, this is how it's done. This is how, and especially in a 4-way, because usually it's just like, oh yeah, let's send out 2 big guys to beat the shit out of each other. And there's no real, development or anything, but we'll get to that one. But also like, I just love being able to see Crimson and this, who's that other big guy? The Dax guy. I'm terrible with names. I apologize.
Yeah. Jax Dane. Like it was my first time seeing him as well. He's, as alluded to by the commentary team, they were a former tag team called the War Kings. And I don't know, like I saw a lot. I see why they mesh so well.
I wanted, like, honestly, halfway through that match, I was like, I want to see more War Kings. Like I heard that name and I was like, it's Crimson. Really liked Crimson before. My one thing I didn't like about this match, and it's such a petty thing, but I'm going to say it anyway. Crimson's hair. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Great match, questionable haircut, and questionable. I think it was a man bun. It just.
If you're looking for like hairstyle tips from wrestling, I think you're barking up the wrong bush, my friend.
Yeah, I did take hair advice from Pete Dunne a while ago, and that didn't end up so well.
Well, ultimately, I agree with you. I thought this was like a really great contest. It was a little disappointing because there weren't a lot of stakes involved. I thought all 4 guys were working with what they had to work with for like an opening contest. I don't know, maybe like some even just soft allusions to like a television championship shot down the line that they don't necessarily have to fulfill. It was a good crowd opener, but I don't know, just didn't it didn't land for me. Like it didn't feel real to me, and I didn't really have any investment on who was going to win.
No, that's totally fair. That's totally fair. But
I will say this though, Slice Boogie's. This is my first time watching one of his contests, and the dead ass driver is one hell of a move.
Yeah, I was like, he's dead. He killed him. It's over. He's dead. This man is dead. We've witnessed a murder live on pay-per-view, and it only cost $20. Look at that. Get away with murder. No, but it was. I liked it, and it had a good flow to it. Like usually 4-ways are just kind of like, well, we can kind of see who's going to go over in this. But with this match, I was like, I don't actually know, because they're all being really propelled like, oh, this is a big dude. This is another big dude. This is another big dude. And they're all badass. So it's like, I loved it. I liked it, but I do agree with you at the same time. There wasn't any consequence or weight to it.
I feel like, as you said, it was one big dude followed by another big dude followed by another big dude followed by another big dude. This could have been like the Russian nesting dolls of wrestling matches.
It kind of was, because there was one littler big dude, and then Crimson showed up. But yeah,
absolutely. Following this, we get May Valentine. I was so happy to see May Valentine back. I know she's not.
I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be nice.
Dude,
Say
I
your piece.
know she's not exactly a fan favorite, but like she's endeared herself to me in her own unique way. And you know, she introduces her best friend, Sol Renaro, and you know, they're back as BFFs. Proving that friendship is real. I'm also really happy to see that Sol had the time, you know, mixed blessing about the pandemic and everything, of course, but he had the time to rest his shoulder, heal up, and you know, like he's healthy, and that's, you know, that's a very small blessing in the circumstances that we presently live in. Yeah,
but
all in all, I
any
was happy.
blessing is a blessing. Let's be real here. The fact that we have this show, the fact that we have an NWA pay-per-view today is a blessing. Let's be real about that, because it's
Very well said.
very, very possible that we were not going to get that, but we did. Yeah.
And we did.
She is interesting. it's I'm sorry. And
no. Hey, man.
The voice grates on me, and I'm just like, was there no one else? Was no one else available? Okay. No, it's fine.
No, I mean, I'll full on admit, I don't know. Pardon me. Go on.
No, that's it. I don't want to dig that hole any deeper than I have to. but it works.
If you ask me what I like about May Valentine, I promise I will not be able to articulate it. It's May Valentine, and I'm happy to see her on the screen. It's good. It's a good day.
Yep. No, it's a good. I had a moment like that later on in the show. It's like, what? And I think you know who I'm talking about. I was just like, what the hell are you doing here? That's amazing.
We will get to that, certainly.
Yep.
But our next contest, here's the elephant in the room, friends, viewers at home. Jordan and I had a conversation before we decided to follow through with doing PowerrrOut. There are going to be some names in the NWA that we are not comfortable mentioning, and we don't feel like we're not eager to platform them. So we're going to talk about the next match, but we're going to be really focusing on the opponent of the person that we don't want to really talk about. We want to talk about what we liked, and what we liked. I don't know about you, Jordan, but I really liked what Kratos was up to in that ring.
Yep. I said halfway through, I actually almost yelled this in my house. Holy shit, flying Kratos. That's the coolest thing I've seen in my life. That's amazing. But yeah, I thought it was a solid match. I will say that Kratos could have had a better opponent. But as far as work goes with Kratos, I thought it was good chemistry, as best as he could do. And he deserved better. I'll end with that. But yeah, he looked really strong. He looked great. Too bad he didn't go over, but you know, it is what it is.
I'm very eager to see what else Kratos is up to, because this was my first experience watching his match. He is, of course, tag team champions with the challenger of the main events contest, Aaron Stevens. And quite frankly, Jordan, I think you were being very generous regarding his nameless opponent. I thought he was like, the fact how little he has worked in a wrestling ring in the past couple of years has showed.
I believe the term is the shits. I remember I'm watching this, and it's just going on, and Kratos is trying, but somebody's not.
Yeah. My one note about this person directly was he came out in a Dollarama chain. Like it was just like flaking all over his face, and he looked like he looked even more like a fool.
It's very on brand. Whoops!
All in all,
slipped out. I apologize.
Again, Kratos picks up the loss on this one. My one note for this match was it went on too long, and I think the time that this had should have been afforded to the Fatal 4-Way that we just watched before that.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. After that, we have to move on to another match where I'd rather not talk about one of the competitors. Yeah. We get the television championship match, and I'll say this: I was thrilled to see Pope. Man, he was like, when he came to the NWA to Power way back last year or late 2019. I was so excited, like, because Jordan, you and I were, sorry, Mr. J, This guy I used to live with named Jordan, him and I used to live together, and we were really excited on TNA when the Pope was on TV. We thought he was just like really great for TNA.
Another PowerrrOut exclusive episode of Poetry of a Promo.
Yeah, absolutely.
This one goes out to Taz. Yes, that Taz. Don't at me. I don't care. Well, here comes the Pope. Right down the barrel of the camera there, folks.
An absolute beautiful paraphrase, and I thank you for that, sir. So time is extended in a television championship match going forward, or maybe that's just for the pay-per-view. I'm not sure. It wasn't really established too concretely.
They didn't talk about it. They were just like, it goes longer now. Okay.
Yeah, like they said it, which is fine. If they just want to like throw it away, no problem. But like I think it should have been clarified whether 10:05 is exclusive to pay-per-view events or whether it's going to be just like the standard going forward.
Yeah.
No, I'll say this. I love time limits. I think time limits need to be imbued on every contest because like that's just, you know, if you want to sell this as a sport, that's the first thing you have to do. You have to put parameters on this. And
especially with the amount of belts that they have in this gigantic organization. Like, let's be real, there's not that many guys and girls in that organization. But they're with that time limit and that just like, can you beat a guy in 10 minutes and 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Yes or no. It's not, well, it's a draw. No. You can or you can't. And
exactly.
It adds gravitas to it.
I do think 10 minutes is good. I liked 6:05 just because, like, I don't know. I thought there was a lot of room to play with such short a time span. But 10 minutes, like that reminds me of like when Arn Anderson, like way back when, was TNA.
That'd be a different company.
Television champion. He did a lot of like great heel work of just like wandering outside the ring, just buying his time and just like drawing out the time limit draw pretty much every chance he got. I think they still have that opportunity with 10 minutes. I would have preferred 6 minutes, but again, I'm not here to argue taste with anyone.
Yeah, no, I mean, the time limit's a time limit. I slurred that together like crazy. It's fine.
We get the message.
But it's true though. Like, as long as the only time that I find it doesn't work is when it's an Iron Man match because no one cares. It's like, oh look, another fall. It's not going to matter until like the last maybe 5-10 minutes. But with a 10-minute time limit, especially with a title on the line, that matters. So yeah, no, I'm all for it. 6 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Make it work, make it fun.
Once again, like Pope was looking great. I love him as a babyface. I thought he was great as a heel before NWA went on their hiatus. I loved his rivalry with Eddie Kingston. Unfortunately, that didn't come to fruition. And I think working with him as a babyface going forward is a very strong move. And again, they wrestle very, very good sense of urgency, very good energy in this match. And we get a time limit draw hitting the 10:05 mark.
Yeah.
Overall,
nice.
Pretty. Yeah.
I thought that was nice because did no titles change hands on this show?
This is correct. Yeah. And,
spoilers, by the way. Sorry.
Well, I mean, if you're joining us, you should have watched the event. Otherwise, I don't really know what you're doing here. Right down the barrel of the camera.
I don't know what I'm doing here either. I'll be honest.
Jordan, Mr. J didn't even watch the event. That's the truth.
No, I'm making this all up. I've never seen wrestling. I don't watch it. I just read stuff.
He's just following my lead. Again, on an evening where like no titles changed hands, I think it was wise to break how a championship was or wasn't. What am I trying to say? What's the word I'm looking for here?
How it was defended?
Exactly. What's the result of the match? Would have been a pinfall submission. It was nice to see something else, a road less travel taken in this particular contest. Yeah, thank you for the assist there.
It's like I said, time limit draws can matter if they're done right. Because if it's like the ending of that, I was totally okay with, because it's just two dudes slapping the shit out of each other. And the time limit's over, and they continue to slap each other, and it looked really cool because it's like, no, I'd like to see that again. Is it going to happen? We don't know, but the Pope. Oh,
Pope. is pimping.
Pope is life. That's what
Pope is life.
Pope is life.
Following this contest,
Pope is life.
Following the contest, Mae Valentine is back. She's with Aaron Stevens. He's cutting a promo that he should have been cutting in WWE after he resolved that the Mizdow storyline with the Miz. He was just like speaking from the heart. He was saying like, I will make, pardon the idiom, I will make chicken shit out of chicken salad. No, I will make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Don't do the other way around, folks. I wouldn't advise it. It's not a good thing. But he would do that. Mizdow or Sandow, he would do that. I'm going to give Jordan a moment to regain his composure after my.
I'm just going to mute myself for a second.
Yeah, please do. Please do while I bury myself, while I dig myself out of this hole. Yeah, this is who I wanted to see when he was in the WWE after he had departed from the Miz's side. I wanted to see him just like I just wanted him to be himself. I wanted to see him take himself and turn it up to 11, as that old expression goes. But we see it in NWA, and I think it worked in spades.
Yep. Most wrestlers go up to most wrestlers are on 10, and they just stay there. Aaron Stevens, this one goes to 11.
He went up to 11. It's one better. I'm always happy to have a little Spinal Tap reference in the middle of a broadcast. So
no,
Mr. J.
It's one better. That's what it is.
Following this impassioned promo by Aaron Stevens, we move on to the match that I frankly bought this pay-per-view for. We got Camille versus Thunder Rosa, #1 contendership for the women's championship, currently held by Serena Deeb. Wow, this was a lot of fun. This was a really good story of power versus technical prowess and striking. What did you think of the match, man?
I liked it. I really did. I like both of these ladies. I think they're both incredible. I love Thunder Rosa from the standpoint of her look and the standpoint of her style. I think it's amazing. And then Camille, what more do you want in a not really outspoken unless she's in a match, and just a pure, she's just a brick wall when it comes to stuff sometimes. And it's like, I love that. I like seeing that. I like seeing that in male wrestling. I love seeing it in female wrestling because it's like, it's a departure from the quote unquote, no, the females are softer. No, they're not. And Camille is living proof. Thunder Rosa is definitely living proof that they're different. And I liked it a lot. I usually don't enjoy as much #1 contenders matches, especially for women's title, because it's like, is this going to go anywhere? But this one really felt like it was like, this is the boss before the final boss for both of these two ladies. And I think the match with Serena Deeb is going to be actually really good. So points all around. I liked it.
Was the pun intended using Camille's last name in your last explanation there?
No, nothing I do is intended.
Natural brick reference. That's all.
Really? I didn't know that. The more you learn. I watch NWA. Seriously? Well. The more you know, kids. The more you know.
One thing I thought that was interesting going into this contest is Joe Galli on the commentary. He mentioned, in very, very soft terms, he was alluding to Thunder Rosa's big hardcore match with Britt Baker this past Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, their St. Patrick's Day special edition. And, they didn't say AEW, they didn't say Britt Baker, but they mentioned that Thunder Rosa was involved in a very physical contest. And I thought this was interesting because the Fatal 4-Way from the top of the card, they mentioned New Japan Pro Wrestling a handful of times. This one, no mentions to AEW. And I only bring this up because the talk of the Forbidden Door is presently popular. It was interesting
it's Tony Khan. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting that AEW doesn't get a mention, but New Japan Pro Wrestling does. And I can do nothing with that information beyond speculation. So I don't know.
Yeah, It did seem a bit weird, but I guess we'll all find out in time.
Absolutely. Again, like the power game for Camille just like tells the story. She picks up the win with 2 big spears on Thunder Rosa, and she is the new #1 contender, and she's going to face Serena Deeb somewhere down the line, and I am looking forward to that contest, and I think you are too, Mr. J.
Yeah, definitely. I have not seen something I don't like out of either of those two. I didn't know who the hell Serena Deeb was before she came to AEW. But I was just, I mean, that's being honest.
You know her now, right? Like,
from, yeah. Like I caught up and I'm just, wow. All right, cool. But basically, yeah, I'd love to. I cannot wait to see that match. It's gonna be good. Like, not that this match wasn't, but I think the next one will be as good, if not better.
I am looking forward to that as well. Absolutely. After this match, we move on to the penultimate match of the card. Penultimate is such a great word, and I'm so glad I got to use it just there. Penultimate. We get Chris Adonis versus Trevor Murdock. Again, Murdock won me over so much during the last run of NWA, and I was like so surprised by how much I was looking forward to Trevor Murdock contests, and by extension, I was hoping that Chris Adonis would also impress me and have me revise my initial opinions of him. And he certainly did. This was a hell of a fight. This is everything I love to see in wrestling. Just straightforward storytelling. Every action they did makes sense, from a headlock to a big freaking crossbody from Trevor Murdock.
Yeah. I was just like, it stopped me in my tracks. I was just like, did that man just do a crossbody?
That man did a crossbody.
He did. I'm not just seeing that happen. And
again, nice. it wasn't just him doing it for no reason. Like, he was going up because he was going to go hit his big bulldog finish from the top rope. But Adonis was not in position to take that move, so Murdock had to revise. I love seeing those like little pieces connect in wrestling, and I was so grateful to see it in this contest.
Yeah, for sure. No, I thought it was a good match, and like, I wasn't the biggest fan of Mr. Adonis before, because I just thought his run in other places was really kind of, wow, I guess he really does like big sweaty men, and that's all they're good for. But no, I'm pleasantly surprised and actually really happy that, yes, he can actually, I don't want to use it, but I'll use it, that he can actually work and look actually amazing in the, penultimate match of the night. There, I used it in a sentence. There you go. I liked it. I was very impressed.
Rolls off the tongue.
It does.
Yeah. Like, I have to agree with you. Like, I haven't seen Chris Adonis in several years, but I thought like his storytelling instincts are just like, like so much higher than they were in. I didn't see, even in WWE, I didn't really see much of him because I was in and out of the wrestling fandom at that time. But when I did see him, I wasn't like blown away. This match was really good, and at the end of the match, he goes for the master lock. Murdock rolls it up, reverses it, gets the pinfall, and right after the match, they go for the handshake. Adonis, he does what bad guys do. He turns that handshake into a beatdown, and very quickly establishes a very compelling villain in NWA programming going forward.
Oh, for sure. Because now there's maybe another chase for the title, but now Adonis is, kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Well, actually, not even kind of. I would say a lot of one. But I thought it was amazing. Like, the thing that shocked me, and I remember because I actually had a phone call about halfway through, like not even halfway through, like 2 or 3 minutes before the ending. And then the ending happens, and I was like, holy shit, they just finished that on a roll up. And it made sense. And I wasn't like, well, that was a crappy finish. No. A roll-up makes sense because it's like, no, I out-wrestled you and I out-thought you. And it was like, storytelling. Awesome.
Couldn't agree more, my friend. That was it was a good ending, and I think there's money. I think there's value in a future national championship run by Chris Adonis, and then I kind of hope he picks up the championship very soon going forward. Right after this match, we get another brilliant promo from Austin Idol. He's cutting a promo from the announce booth. He is. Oh man, as only a previous champion can do, he makes the match important. This is a match that had very little build, aside from, of course, references to this being a tribute to Joseph Hudson. Austin Idol sold this as just important. He sold it that the competitors are going to have to dig deep. He also kind of jabs Tim Storm as he was doing it. He knocked it out of the park. This was like a top 3 promo of the night, and a night of very, very strong promos.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have anything to add to that. It actually did feel more important after that. And I'm just like, why? Like, I don't want to take a dig at Aaron Stevens, but I remember going into this and being like, why do I care if Aaron Stevens is champion? Like, how he's not going to beat Nick Aldis. This is impossible. But after that, I was like, oh, maybe. Just maybe.
Yeah, brilliant promo by Austin Idol from the commentary booth. I thought maybe he was alluding to like a soft partnership with Nick Aldis, like perhaps like a bit of a tease there, which was plausible because there wasn't any references to Strictly Business on this particularly evening. Which of course, Royce Isaacs, I don't believe he's part of NWA anymore, and Tom Latimer and Camille, they're all doing their other things, their stuff in other contests. But again, we go from the Austin Idol promo into the match itself, Aaron Stevens versus Nick Aldis. Like, even from before the match itself, there was, of course, the 10 bell salute to Joseph Hudson. And of course, everything that has happened in the past year.
Yeah.
Very, very simply stated tribute that I really appreciated NWA taking the time to do.
Absolutely. Like, I do have massive amounts of respect for what they did, because it wasn't over the top of like other organizations, other sporting industries have gone on and been like, oh, thank you for this, thank you for that. And it's like, you're forgetting the point. And it really connected. And I think the timing of it, the fact that they did it right before the main event, was like, this is what this show is about. It's about the question mark. And we've also been through this whole thing. And it was just like kind of a personal moment between everyone that's watching. And you don't get that very much. And that's what I love about this product, because you're there, but you're not there, but you're there. And I just found it so intimate and personal between a company and its audience. And it was absolutely beautiful. So
couldn't agree more. And again, we transitioned right into the main event. Nick Aldis defending the NWA championship against Aaron Stevens. And I mean this in the absolute highest praise that I can offer a wrestling match. I have almost nothing to say about it. It was exactly what I want from wrestling. It was 101, straightforward. This is a story. We told it, and frig, they did it in spades, man. This was a beautiful contest. They really, okay, I should say more, of course, but Aaron Stevens, he really told the story of like he was fighting for his friend. Yeah, like this was just a beautiful tribute match, and it wasn't good guy versus bad guy. It wasn't any kind of like a traditional trope in wrestling. Not that there's anything wrong with said tropes, but this was a tribute match, and it spoke volumes.
It really did. 100%. Couldn't agree more. It and not even, and just to piggyback off what you just said there, it didn't have to be a good guy versus bad guy. It was athlete versus athlete, and respect was already existent between the two of them. It was already there. So it was just, no, let's go out and see what will happen. But also, we're both so good at this that it's going to be a tribute to this person who's so important to us. Like you can't buy that. You can't make that up. I loved it. Like wrestling wrestling kind of mattered during the main event. And I was just like, oh, these two guys out trying to out wrestle each other to not prove anything, but to put on a show because, life sucks. But also, wouldn't it be nice if Aaron Steven could win the title? It's fun.
Absolutely. Very, very well said, sir. And again, like the finish comes up, Aaron goes for a small package, but it's reversed by Aldis, and Aldis' small package picks up the win. Again, brilliant match, post-match celebration. I was frustrated with production during this point at the beginning of the match because I did see Aaron Stevens take the question mark mask and lay it in the corner very respectfully. And I was hoping that they would acknowledge that, but I'm glad they did it after the match.
Yeah.
He pulls up the mask. The whole locker room clears out. They bring out the Mongrovian question mark flag, wave it proudly. Everyone is, doing the question mark pose. This is, of course, after Aldis and Aaron have I don't know if I can rank handshakes in wrestling, but I think this might have been my favorite handshake because it just felt very sincere, and it was a very touching moment, and I'm very happy with how that ended.
Yeah. I don't know. There is something about Nick Aldis shaking hands with people. Like he just looks like, if I'm shaking your hand, I respect you. And I'm doing this now. And like, he's just, and it happened so recently that I'm just like, I was kind of taken aback by the main event. So I was like, wow, that was really well done. And then the finish of it with the whole pose and everything, I was just like, nope, that's real. Okay.
Yeah.
And the handshake made it real. Like the handshake really started to be like, no, that wasn't for a title. That was for someone. And we've seen something that people want us to see, which is always good in wrestling because you hate not seeing stuff. If that didn't make any sense, but whatever. Like you like to see mutual respect, I guess.
Yeah.
Shut me up.
Yeah. I don't know. In an era where mutual respect is very overdone and a handshake is, used in the opening contest and the main event of any given card, especially on the independent scene, like the handshake in that moment just it felt sincere, and I feel what you're saying. Absolutely.
Like when it's done right as actual, no, you deserve this, you've earned this, not a, hey, this is the rules of the company, let's shake hands and then beat the crap out. No, that irritates me. I'm with you on that, but no, I think a handshake is a nice thing, especially after that. I thought it was really.
A handshake is a nice thing. I agree with you 100%.
It's too bad.
How do you feel about handshakes? How do you feel about handshakes? Let us know in the comments.
Like
Mr. J,
shake hands. Do you?
I let us into every segment, setting the tone, giving my thoughts first. I'm going to invite you to do the honors of telling us top to bottom, overall, the show itself. What did you think of NWA Back for the Attack? Please bring us in.
I really enjoyed it, like pretty much top to bottom, except for certain people. I thought it was a damn good show, and it's been a while since I've been able to sit down and be like, wrestling's fun. Like, and there doesn't need to be a huge set. There doesn't need to be this whole, thing about, oh, look how much pyro we have. Look how cool these entrances are. No, it's just a pure wrestling show. And I enjoyed every single match. Pretty neutral on handshakes, to be honest. You know what, Spencer?
Ambivalent about handshakes. This will be a topic for another day. Like, please, no one say anything you're going to regret in the morning. Let's table this. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Handshakes. It's on the agenda.
Handshakes is on the agenda. My people will be in touch.
Overall, Mr. J, I got to agree
Love.
with you. Mr.
More of a high five guy.
Really great. Really, okay. At least he took the time to apologize. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Overall, like, again, I agree, top to bottom, very good card, very uplifting card. Very, I appreciated the effort that was put in. I will say this: I don't think it was a very strong choice by NWA to lead with a pay-per-view, because, like, you know, you and I, you know, we're going to buy this pay-per-view, of course. And of course, anyone who's tuned into a live reaction show to NWA on lovewrestling.ca, regardless of where you're watching this video from, you know, we've already put in the money. And I don't know if starting off with Back for the Attack, as opposed to maybe like 2-3 weeks of Power before leading into a pay-per-view, I think that would have been the stronger choice. That being said, like, I have no complaints about the card itself. Like, it was well, except for names that we have deliberately omitted, of course.
Yeah.
But very strong card, very enjoyable. I also want to give a quick shout out to Tim Storm, because this was, as far as I know, his first throw at the commentary booth, and I didn't really. At first, I wasn't really feeling him. And funny enough, I was recognizing my own brand of nervous energy in his commentary. He drops a lot of idioms that don't quite land as I think he would have intended, and that resonates for me. But as the night went on, I thought Tim Storm was a standout on the commentary booth. He fills a void left by Stu Bennett, who's now, of course, working at NXT, and I think he did a great job, and that needs to be commended.
Yeah, actually, speaking of commentary booth, we left somebody out. We
of course,
completely forgot to mention.
About her. So let's just backtrack a little bit, please, Mr. J.
All right, so
shout her out.
So hi, Taryn Terrell, how you doing? Like, where have you been? Gotta show some love for Taryn Terrell. Absolutely love that girl's work. I think she's amazing. She was actually funny on commentary and not like, oh, I'm trying to steal this. It's just, no, I need to work out more to be able to take on some of these girls. I liked that because it's like, no, she knows, but also she thinks she could. Like, I liked it. I enjoyed it because it's like, anybody who doesn't know Taryn Terrell is going to be like, what is this girl talking about? But then they'll see her and it's like, she can go. And if you haven't seen a Taryn Terrell match, what are you doing? Why? Just go watch it. I believe it
was a bit of a backtrack, but it was certainly a necessary one that we took. So, Mr. J, I apologize for not highlighting Taryn Terrell when we got to her.
Never coming back on this show.
Before we let you go, please let the audience know where they can follow both Mr. J and the Poetry of a Promo podcast on social media.
Hold on. Oh, yeah. At Poetry of a Promo on Instagram or Twitter. I don't have TikTok because I'm an adult. Vine apparently doesn't exist anymore because I'm old. Other than that, you can find us on lovewrestling.ca. Yes, kids, that's lovewrestling.ca, where you can find Poetry of a Promo every single week. Actually, tomorrow. It's one of my favorite episodes because it deals with the ever dapper, ever diabolical. He's a man. He's a man's man. Yes, that's right. If you don't get the references, folks, you're in the wrong place. Lord William Regal. That's right. Tomorrow's episode of Poetry Over Promo only on lovewrestling.ca. It's time for War Games himself. That's how you do a promo. I think probably not. Whatever.
Mr. J, thank you so much for kicking off the inaugural episode as the co-host for PowerrrOut. I hope to see you again in the very near future, and it's only appropriate because you had such a heavy hand in getting this show going. In fact, we are going to be back.
Named it.
You named it.
Music.
You gave a theme song.
I think I've done a lot for that, and I've been on it.
You're hitting the trifecta, man. You've maybe you should be the host. But again, we'll have that conversation off air.
I don't have time to watch.
You want to join us again? We're going to be back. We're going to be back next Tuesday. The episode's going to air not immediately after Power, but it's going to be on at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, on the Love Wrestling Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Please join us. The event's going to launch very shortly after this episode broadcasts, which is right now because we're live. And yeah, thank you for kicking us off on the very first episode of Power Out on lovewrestling.ca. We're going to be back on Tuesday. Till then, friends.
Power out.